Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Big Finish fans. Today, we're doing our updated top 5 list of 2024. We did this video back in the start of July, and my goodness, Big Finish always treat us in over the summer with some big heavy hitter releases. And we like to update it to see how we're doing with this year so far. As ever, I am joined with Luke.
Yes, hello everyone. We stopped halfway through the year to see what was tingling our molecules particularly well, didn't we?
Yes.
I think it was funny. There were a lot of releases we were really enjoying, but I don't know how many like heavy hitters there were at that point.
In the first half of the year, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad one, but yeah, certainly our lists
Very
diverged
strong.
quite a bit. Even though our tastes, I think, have been quite similar.
Yes.
Like often when we're talking about these releases amongst ourselves, we're agreeing quite a bit how we feel about them. There's obviously always going to be some things that throw a spanner in the works there. But generally speaking, I think we feel mostly the same generally towards different releases. But still, despite that, we end up coming out with very different lists, and
which is great.
Feeling they're going to be completely different this time.
Yeah, last time when we did the video back in July, we only had I think one of the same releases, which was we'll talk about our old list, Storm of the Sea Devils, before we update it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how different these lists are, because this is the wonderful thing. We don't speak about these lists, so it's a surprise for us as much as it is for you.
I mean, a surprise as much as it can be. Like, we know generally what each other has liked and disliked, and if you've watched a lot of our reviews recently, you'll probably be able to have a fair stab at some of them. But yeah, hopefully there's still the odd surprise or two in there.
I hope so. Otherwise, this is a bit silly to do.
But anyway, we have some lovely people joining us in the chat. Hello to the stylish one, Joe Bowers,
hello,
Daniel Hager.
Hello.
Joining us. This isn't the December chill streams, the stylish one. No,
surprise!
That's the next
We're
one.
back. That's the next stream. I'm sure we'll do another one.
Yeah.
In between now and December.
I mean, this is more of a chill stream though. Like, we've done the last one was a video, the top 5. It felt right to, while updating it, be a bit more relaxed with it, because ultimately 3/4 of the way isn't as important as halfway.
That's true. And this just feels like traditional Friday stream, like the old days. So, it's all good.
Yeah, we're feeling a bit nostalgic tonight.
Yeah.
Hello from Daniel Hager, who is now wearing the Third Doctor for a Halloween special video for my YouTube channel.
Quite.
Oh, wonderful stuff, Daniel.
Don't reverse the polarity too hard.
Keep that polarity in check.
That's the main thing.
I have listened to the Quinn Dilemma episodes 1 and 2, and that's it. I've not listened to a lot of new releases this year. I tried to clear my backlog during the first half of the year. This is Stylish One saying this, by the way. And then Series 1 destroyed my interest in Doctor Who generally, so until last week I hadn't watched any Doctor Who since the disappointment of the series. We're back. The old Scream schedule is back. I'm sorry to hear that, Stylish One. Doctor Who hasn't quite been
I mean, that's
doing it for you.
That's it. We all have our favourite bits of Doctor Who. We all have our least favourite, and we stick with it. Hopefully, it'll get better. Yeah, it's a funny one, season 1, isn't it? I don't think it landed as much as people hoped it to, but still, there's some good stuff in there, I feel.
I feel like generally there's a lot of good stuff in there. It is mainly that finale that has perhaps soured people's view. That's a topic for another time. I think we'll get around to it at some point.
Yeah, probably in November when we do like a RTD2 special video.
Yeah, little tier list, probably.
Yeah, that's
tier lists.
We do love a tier list.
Don't worry, I rewatched The Crimson Horror and it reminded me why I love this show. Ah, there we go.
There we go.
There's always something there. I was right about the Big Finish leak, as the Lost Stories are back next year.
We'll get on to that. We'll talk about the Lost Stories in a minute.
Yeah, we'll let a few more people tune in first, gather a bit of an audience, and then dive into some news. How many people have we got watching at the moment in total? Let's see. 8 of you. Thank you.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
Got some lurkers out there too.
Hello, lurkers. We appreciate you too.
How's life been treating you of late, Ben?
All right, really. Standard stuff. Last time we did it was Stuff a Legend, wasn't it? Which was great.
Yeah, it really feels like that was a while ago now. So
yeah,
about
crazy.
The last gasps of summer on that Saturday.
And it's just been rain. But I've not really. Oh, go on.
Yeah, some clear skies the last couple of days here, though. I woke up to fog this morning, but it cleared up. It's a funny old thing. Not mizzle, just fog.
Not mizzle.
I mean, you have listened to the CD now, haven't you?
I have.
The Stuff a Legend.
There is.
Yeah, I've not gone for the studio version yet.
It's weird listening to it. It's I don't want to say it's different, but you can see that it's very intended for a live performance, really. And I personally prefer Caroline Seymour to Anna Badland. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of other cast members that were a bit different as well, weren't there?
I'm trying. Yeah, I think the bad Entity Force. I'm trying to remember what that's called.
The
Bucker, yeah, that's it. That's different on the studio, but still good.
Joe Bowers says, I've been listening to the 7th Doctor / Hex stories, and I enjoyed the complexity of the arc, but it felt it was a shame we didn't see much of the Black TARDIS crew's adventures, and found it disappointing how Lysandra just disappeared. Just wait until you get to last day.
The last day, oh my goodness. That is not on our top 5. I think for me, that's probably my least favourite release of the year.
Yeah, it's got to be down there.
I think, that's got to be. That's the only release I've been disappointed with. The rest have been like, I see good in it, but last day, the investment and the time spent, not really.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully there's a better 12-part coming along next year. But...
I mean, it's with Davo, so and it's Tim Foley. Spoilers for the news. Very excited. That's got to be number 1 release already.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, how much of the Hex stuff have you listened to?
I've listened to bits and bobs of like the black and white TARDIS arc. I've not done it fully. I think I've
not done it as an arc.
Not as an arc. I think I missed a couple of like Protect and Survive and black and white, and I just did Gods and Monsters straight away, and then Afterlife, which I think was fine.
Yeah, I've only really done Gods and Monsters, Revenge of the Swarm, and then all the ones like since then. So Shadow Planet, World Apart, and then whether else Musifier, Dispossessed, and Flying Dutchman, and Last Day, I suppose. So,
yeah, the Hector stuff's weird.
Don't get your pitchforks out.
It's interesting listening to like Afterlife and the 7th Doctor little monologue, and just seeing Moffat nick bits of that for Boom was quite nice. I was like, oh, he's listened to Afterlife as old Moffat.
Hex arc is what a Big Finish arc should be, as it actually has a through line. It's a stylish one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on with like the Hex arc, because you've got like the Forge stuff intertwined there with like Cassie. There's a lot going on. Really,
it's often you'll have one arc ending, when another arc's started a couple of episodes back, won't you? I can't wait for Alex McQueen's next release to be in another 3 years.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. We love McQueen round here.
Am I late? Hoovering with a small collection. You are not late.
No, you're not. We're just starting. We're just warming up before we get to the news and the top 5 itself. So you've not missed anything.
Yeah, we're just giving everyone a warm welcome. Let people gather in, let them chill, and then we'll dive into some news and then talk about our top 5.
That's the plan.
5s rather. Poor 5s.
Or 10, really, because I think we're going to have 5 different stories.
Yeah, that's true.
So hopefully we'll give you 10 stories.
10 good ones, I feel.
This is the thing. I think this has been a really consistent year. I think I've enjoyed this year more than I did last year.
Yeah. I mean, 2022 was like the year of high highs and low lows, wasn't it?
I think coming off 2021, which I still stand by as my favourite year of being a Big Finish fan. Just because it was the year for our generation where the new series doctors said, hey, you classic boys, you have a little rest. You're going to have a big year next year. Let us take the realm with like Eccleston starting, Dalek Universe, Young War Doctor starting. It was just electric.
It was a weird one though as well, without that through line of the monthly range. Like, whereas when you got to 2022 at least, you then had a structure with the relaunch, whereas it felt like a bit of 9 months of limbo for Big Finish in a way.
You had the weird releases like the 11 and Lost Resort.
Yeah. Which then you look at releases like the 11 and you think, oh, that's definitely just right. Who do we have who could do home recording? Right, that'll do.
God, what a dreadful set.
Oh. Yeah, not getting back to that one anytime soon.
Yeah, sorry, Colin.
I do like the middle one though. The Murder of Oliver Akron.
That would be a great thing to put on stage. So Big Finish, if you want ideas for more live shows, do that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's amazing how strong that can be, sandwiched between 2 less than stellar stories.
Yeah.
Joe Bauer says, I've listened to The Last Day and I found it dreadful. It's such a waste of those characters. Yeah, I'm afraid you're right there, Joe. Robophobia is so good, says Stylish One, and Protect and Survive is Sophie Aldra's favourite audio. There's an alternate timeline where Tim Foley wrote The Last Day. Those are Hector audios, Luke.
Yeah, nobody likes Hector stuff.
It's still part of the blooming Hex arc.
But it's bad. We forget about it.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
But what Dark Husband? Is that not part of the Hex arc either?
And then you've got Nocturne. That's pretty. Yeah. I mean, The Harvest, okay, actually. Like, that's one I kind of really didn't like. And I listened to it, like, it's okay. But then Dreamtime is really bad. That's rough. There's a bit of,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really selling me on this.
I mean, skip to like No Man's Land and you'll be fine.
I mean, they're all going quite cheap now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they've reduced the price.
Monthly range prices.
Yeah, they've done a whole price reduction.
Yeah, I think it's now £5 for everything 51 to 150. £3 for 1 to 50, and then £8 for 151 to 200, and then still the regular price for the 201 up to 275.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. think I'm right in saying that. I might be wrong.
It sounds right, and I'm
It's-
going to nod and say yes. You're
It's
right.
the 51 to 100 that I'm unsure about.
Yeah.
They might have dropped those down to £3 now, but to be fair, I can easily just go check this. I don't have to sit around guessing. I think. Name me a random 51 to 100 release, and I'll search it.
51 to 100 release. Other Lives.
Let's see. I know it is free sound. I was wrong.
Okay, $2.99.
Everything under 100 is.
What about The Next Life? Because that's a 6-parter. That's a chunkier one. But I guess it would be $2.99 as well, actually, if they're great.
Yeah, $2.99.
Okay.
That was a digipack.
Yeah, those are weird, those digipacks. Big Finish has got an interesting relationship with packaging.
Yeah. I think they did it for, is it Singularity as well?
No, the Settling.
Yeah. I was thinking 7th Doctor and because Singularity is 5th Doctor and
Singularity's got a variant
it?
cover. Where is it? Is it maybe up there?
Yeah.
There it is.
It was the release I was thinking of. I got the name wrong. You've got the variant one.
Yeah, signed by Mark Strickson. I think it's signed by Gary Russell as well. Okay.
Wow.
So that's pretty neat. Yeah, that's a 10th Planet exclusive, it says there. When they did I don't know if they still do conventions, actually. But yeah.
There's always something quite nice about that black and white with a slash of red on it, isn't there?
Yeah, the early adventures loved that for their covers.
Yeah, Night, which is there's another. I think Quicksilver that had that style as well. Yeah, bring it back, I say.
Yeah.
There's definitely another release, isn't there?
I like the flash of red.
Yeah.
I don't know, off the top of my head.
Sword of the Chevalier. That has like that going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does have like a flash of red.
Yeah. Have you seen the supposed leak of a Jubilee novelization?
I did see that.
Yeah, that's quite exciting.
Well, that's going to be a pickup if it's like a hardback as well. That'd be glorious.
Is it Rob Shearman as well?
Or hopefully it is. I don't know if they confirmed the writer, but I think the listing's just been found.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll be Target looking in style. If they'll do a Target one.
I want, yeah, because they're doing it with Evil of the Daleks. They did the hardback, and then they're doing the paperback in Doctor Who magazine next week.
Yeah. Is it an abbreviated version?
Yeah, I think it's a cut down. Much like what they did with City of Death.
Yeah. Death World got to be on the list, or I'm writing. Or we'll see Whovian.
It's on mine. It's okay.
I can't even think of a top 5 this year. It's been so good. I could think of a top 3, but then it was thinking of the 4 and 5 that was a struggle because it's like there's so much stuff that's being left out.
Yeah. It feels unfair to do a top 5.
But at the same time, we don't have all day.
Yeah, that's true.
Top 15. And it takes so much longer then to work out which order it all goes.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Sarge said, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Luke, I'm on season 7, episode 10. That time loop episode might be my favorite in the whole show. Enoch getting the saddest exit since Human Coulson and season 5 timeline fits. Yeah, the way it does the time loop is very, very clever. And I think when you compare it to something like Eve of the Daleks, it's insane how much that falls flat on its face. Yeah. basically the way the time loop works is they're caught in a time vortex heading towards the event horizon, and every about 10-15 minutes the loop resets and everyone loses their memories except for the people who were asleep at the start of it. So they wake up inside the time loop, things go wrong, and then it resets. But if they die in the time loop, then they lose their memory. And so it's a very complicated way of getting out, but it all is very well thought through. Yeah, it's brilliant stuff.
Dalek universe in a charity shop? What universe is that? Mental.
Vinyl or CD?
I mean, if it's vinyl, crikey, that'd be an absolute cop. My goodness.
My favourite Doctors on Big Finish is the Third Doctor and Fourth Doctors. I love 1972 on Big Finish, says Daniel Hager. Yeah, we love our Third Doctor here. I mean, we did a whole video on that.
I'm very proud of that video. It's a good one we did.
Ooh, The Settling is a weird one. It's the third disc. It's just trailers for forthcoming releases.
Well,
that's a...
And part of me thought it had Sapphire and Steel on, but I don't think it does. I think it had like other teas for like Dalek Empire and like Doctor Who spin-offs, I think, from memory.
It's a bit like what they had for the 10th Doctor Adventures. That weird Big Finish disc they did.
I think because they were like, we're just going to get a load of new people on, so let's
bombard them.
Bombard them going, buy these. But it was the same disc, I think they used from The Light at the End special edition, I think. There was like a Big Finish documentary on it, and I don't know if it's the same. Part of me thinks it is, but I'm not too sure from memory.
Yeah, those were weird ones.
Yeah,
I think, didn't it? For the volume 3, they did like a David Tennant one, didn't they? Specific.
I don't think they did it for volume 3. I think it was volume 2, I want to say.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because I think volume 3 was just for stories and the storyboard and costume designs by June Hudson.
Is that just a 4-disc one then? No, I suppose that was still 5.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's funny seeing how much they used to put onto these things not even that long ago.
Or just look how much a CD has changed really for Big Finish.
Oh no, it's 5 discs.
Oh, is it? Okay.
What? This includes a bonus behind the scenes disc and a new documentary, David Tennant at Big Finish.
Oh, I stand corrected. My bad.
Okay. So I'm assuming volume 2 is just basically the same as what volume 1 had, but probably a few different trailers. Let's have a look. Artwork, photography, bonus documentary, examining the worlds of Doctor Who at Big Finish.
Okay.
So that one says it's examining the worlds of Doctor Who. What about the first one? Like I bought all this.
Basically, buy our products. Buy our products.
Oh no! Both say examining the worlds of Doctor Who.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and that one's sold out. That sold out a long while ago, didn't it? Volume 1.
Yeah, it sold out before it was released.
Yeah, because that then got the special edition. Not special edition, standard edition not long after. But, volume 2 is still in stock.
Volume 3 is still there. Quite a few releases have gone out of print now. Like the Annihilators, that's gone. 41's gone.
Twin Dilemma is gone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One. Yeah. I mean, they weren't kidding when they said these are limited and we won't be reprinting them.
Yeah, so don't sleep. Don't sleep on it. If you want it on CD, buy it.
It's helps as an indicator of sales in a way, but you can't judge download sales by it.
Hmm.
Because I imagine there are some releases that do better on download than they do on physical.
Yeah, I think Class does.
I mean, imagine all releases do better on download than they do on physical.
Yeah, over time,
Some
yeah.
do, some do better than others. Okay. I got 10th Doctor Adventures Volume 3 for free at the Big Finish competition.
Hey, that's nice.
Struck gold with that one.
I met David Arnold last weekend, who composed the 8th Doctor theme in the early 2000s, and he said he only composed the theme in a single afternoon as a favour and never got paid for it. And Big Finish is still using it 20 plus years on. Oh, poor David Arnold. And it's a great theme as well.
They didn't get to use it at Stuff a Legend, though.
No, I think that was a Nick Briggs thing. I think that was a Nick thing going, hey, let's use my theme.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some rights there with it.
Maybe.
Especially if you never got paid for it. That may be down to, if they used it for something like that, they would have to pay for it because it's then being used in a different manner to what they got it off him as originally. Yeah, because I think he submitted it off to them saying, right, here's a first draft. What do you think? Give me notes and I'll come back to you with something better. And they're like, oh, no, this will do.
Wow.
Bloody good theme, though.
It is a really good theme.
I'm currently combing through 2025 to look at the ones I really want. It's a Super Festival collection. Yeah, I mean...
Speaking of 2025, should we move on to some news?
We should indeed. I mean, our first bit is actually 2024 news, but
it's fine. So news-wise, it still works. So we have 7th Doctor news.
We do indeed.
Finally, we, after much sort of panicking about are we going to get 7th Doctor news, we finally did.
We have the wonderful cover art here by Rafe Woolbank, the Doctor and Karnaki, who you weren't, well, I'm not overly familiar with at all either. You weren't even aware he was in Paternoster.
No, I didn't. Well, because I've only got the one Paternoster box set of Heritage 4. I only knew about the Karnaki files a couple of years ago. They did. I say that it's probably like 8-9 years now, probably.
Yeah, I think that's been a good while. Let's see. Karnaki the Ghost Finder was February 2016.
Wow. Okay.
So, 8 years ago.
So this box set, this just screams peak 7th Doctor to me. Spooky House. We've got A.K. Benedict, who is a horror writer. If you listened to Lost Resort, you know that she really gets atmosphere brilliantly. So I'm really excited to hear that.
Jonathan Barnes always does some wonderful stuff.
He's very good at sort of classic sort of fiction, I feel.
Yeah. Go into the Victoriana setting. He always thrives there. Although this is
I think he does Sherlock, doesn't he? A lot. Jonathan Barnes. Am I getting mixed up?
He might. Yeah. No, you're not getting mixed up.
There we go. Makes sense.
Yeah. But he's also done those couple of Torchwood Christmas specials with
Queen Victoria.
Yeah, The Crown and The Empire Man.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. After the last day, I think this is going to be a nice little palate cleanser, I feel.
Yeah, hopefully so.
As somebody who was not really looking forward to 7th Doctor stuff, I am back on board now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. You got Joe Jameson there as the younger Karnaki in the first 2 stories, and then Dan Starkey throughout the whole set, like narrating as older Karnaki and then appearing in the flesh, as it were, alongside the 7th Doctor for the final story, The Institute of Forgotten Souls.
I wonder if it would be a bit like Original Sin. Not Original Sin, All Consuming Fire. With like diary entries maybe, or something like that.
Well, it's sort of being a story being told.
Hmm.
Like the way the Karnaki stories originally worked was that it was like friends gathered together to hear a story being told, and it's like this ghost detective mystery stuff. He very much was inspired by Holmes, but in a more supernatural occult style. And I was looking into William Hope Hodgson, the original author of these stories, actually died in action during World War Two, World War One.
Wow.
One, not two. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So the character was only created in 1910.
Wow.
So yeah, only lived a short life, but yeah, Big Finishers carrying the character on.
Yeah, which is lovely.
Yeah, and I mean, he already exists in the Hooniverse thanks to Patton Ostergang. So why not mix him with a Doctor? And yes, but what better Doctor than the Seventh?
Yeah, it's a nice little match, really. Should we move on to our next bit of news?
Yeah, can do.
Okay, so this is more your territory. It's Torchwood.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Christmas specials.
Hmm.
We're getting another one here. This time, a Mr. Colchester and Ace one, written by Joseph Lidster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be. I mean, those Torchwood Christmas specials always go down well, whether it's a Queen Victoria one or a Yanto one, like the Grey Mare. Yeah, it's become a nice little tradition of sorts, hasn't it?
Yeah. There wasn't one last year, was there?
No, I don't think so. What was last year's December Torchwood? Let's scroll through the monthly range.
But yeah, Ace and Mr. Colchester.
The Ooge trilogy.
Ah, there we go. That makes sense.
That's what threw it off. So yeah, they took a year off, but they're back here with them now. It's a wonderful chalk and cheese pairing. It's like it's something that you never would have thought of off the top of your head, but as soon as you hear it, like, yes, that is brilliant. They're perfect.
Yeah.
And often these are very much two-handers.
Yeah.
Like you'll have some extra cast members in there, but for the most part, they are 90% of the script between them. And yeah, it's a wonderful bit of cover art there as well.
Yeah, by Sean Longmore.
Yeah. Mr. Colchester getting his Bond villain on there.
Well, he's nicked the Unbound chair, and then Benny took the chair, and now Mr. Colchester's got that chair. It's the Armageddon chair, but we mustn't grumble. You can take it. It's fine.
Yeah, that chair gets everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool.
I mean, the Susie one, it looks interesting. I mean, it's Big Finish put out a tweet in relation to this. So the plot is about man walking past the telephone box, and it starts ringing, and then it's Susie Costello on the other end. And Big Finish put out a tweet simply saying, "Will someone finally listen to Susie Costello?" It just makes it seem like no one picks up her audios.
It's really bad.
I'm sure.
I mean, I've only got one Susie order actually. Yeah, Sync. Oh yeah, Sync. I think it is.
Yeah, you got Sync. I got Moving Target, but I never listened to it.
Will you ever listen to it? Will anybody listen to it?
Who knows? But it seems like an interesting concept, though, and I do rate the cover art.
You gonna pick it up?
I'll pick up the Ace one certainly, and then we've also got no cover art for the third one, January's release. We're getting again 2025 details. Yanto's Inferno. It's about some thieves trapped in a car park.
I wonder if that will follow. No, it wouldn't follow on from Disco. I'm just thinking of like Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
No.
This is by Roland Moore this time. So
nice.
Gareth David Lloyd written one. Yeah, his first Torchwood. I mean, how long's it been since he last wrote? It seems he's involved in Star Cops. What about Doctor Who?
Luke's favourite series.
He was script editor for the audio novels, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Come on, what's one he's actually written? Stone Cold. But that's probably not the most recent one he's written.
Yeah.
His Fourth Doctor Ventures get recorded quite far in advance and written even further. So, come on. I'm still scrolling. Oh, Unit Nemesis 3. What did he write? Yeah, he actually wrote one. The finale of Unit Nemesis 3, Time of the Volperine. That was the most recent thing he's written in the world of Doctor Who, I think. Yeah. Oh, and then After the Daleks.
Okay. Should we move on to a surprising new spin-off?
Yes, we can indeed.
The pod has landed. Planet Krynoid. This is so BBV, but I'm here for it.
I rate the monster focus concepts they're going for.
Yeah.
I think this one excites me more than Zygon Century.
Yeah, I feel like I'm more likely to pick this up because I just hearing like this is Doctor Who Last of Us. I'm like, okay.
I think as well, when you've got these quite horrifying creations of Robert Banks Stewart, you're never quite able to go full on with them on TV. Like, you've always got to have the Doctor save the day in the end.
I think that's what I liked about the Torchwood monster stories.
This is giving me that sort of vibe. Like, I don't think it'll be full on as adult. I imagine they've still got to.
Well, you've got the Doctor in it, haven't you? You've got Paul McGann.
Yeah, but I think I'm hoping for something on the level of War Master. How far that is able to push those boundaries. Yeah, having it be set on this colony world and then just seeing the descent there. It sounds quite exciting. And Reece Shearsmith as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not been in a Big Finish before.
Yeah, that was actually the first I saw of this was Radio Times talking about Reece Shearsmith getting a Doctor Who spin-off.
Wow.
I was like, what's this?
What have I missed? But yeah, I know this is like a placeholder cover, but I love it. I really like it. It's just simple.
I feel like I've seen it before. Or something simple.
It's very alien. I feel like that's what it's going off, I feel.
It certainly rings some bells there. I mean, Chris Chapman is writing one of them as well.
Yeah, the finale. Sunlight, sunset, darkness.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting with both of these, though, is that you've only got the first set up for pre-order. But with this and Zygon Century, it very much seems like they want this to be a series.
Yeah.
But is it a case that they're waiting to see how well the first box sets sell before they commit? Because I mean, it very much seems like these are a pair. Like Krynoids, they come in pairs. Because I mean, it's the same producer as well, Jonathan S. Powell, on both of them. So, yeah, I mean, both creations of Robert Banks Stewart as well, coming out around the same time. Yeah, it feels like, you know.
Hopefully the rights issues sorted with these because they're not going to disappear like Hot House and the Zygon stories.
I mean, I wonder if that was actually the start of them talking about these.
Maybe that could be the sort of the germination of it all.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah, from talking about that, because that was 2022 August, wasn't it? That they disappeared for a bit. So looking at the timeline of that,
it does kind of match.
Good line up discussing, what about we do some more of this stuff? It's a bit like the Terry Nation incident with the Daleks.
And
then getting the rights to go a bit further with it. I'm excited for these.
I'm more invested in Planet Krynoid. If I was to pick up one, it would be this one over Zygon Century at the minute.
Yeah, so I think it helps that there seems to be more one longer story of sorts, whereas Zygon Century is more of an anthology.
My only thing is I wish this was a one-writer thing, but, that's just me.
Yeah, can't have it all, I suppose.
But we'll be winning soon with this
Yeah.
bit of news.
Yeah, one writer, 12 episodes. I mean, we've known something like this was coming.
Yeah,
They
from the
told
initial
us,
bundle.
yeah, they told us Fifth Doctor is getting the 12th part next year. And yeah, we were excited based on that alone. And we certainly had our fingers crossed with Tim Foley. And it's Tim Foley. And certainly we weren't the only ones. Like looking at Twitter, a
Mhm.
lot of the reaction to this was, oh my goodness, it's Tim Foley writing it.
Yeah.
So, he's built up so much goodwill with how strong, particularly his longer form storytelling has been. Like when you look at what he's done with Friend of the Family at 4 hours long, he's got 6 hours to play with here. So
It
yeah,
almost
and
feels like if you listen to Dark Gallifrey Morbius and then Morbius the Mighty, you can just imagine the sort of scope we can get with that, because that feels like one big story in a way.
yeah, I mean, apparently John Dorney said that they've completed Doctor Who of this one, but it does so much that it's just everything a Doctor Who story could and should be, which I think sounds pretty good.
I mean,
Almost a
yeah.
quintessential story at that length. You want it to encompass a lot.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if there's any returning monsters in it.
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if there weren't.
Yeah.
And it seems the crew is going to get split up as well.
Standard.
Yeah, you got the whole end of the universe going on as well. More standard stuff.
You can see like each companion getting their own episode in a way.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, okay.
I don't want it to go Last Day route.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah,
but it's Tim Foley, so we trust Tim Foley here.
I'd rather it be one long story than broken up into anthology style. Yeah, we'll see. I could eat my words there, but I think it would be nicer to have it just play out as one long story over 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Sort of like what Nick Briggs has done with the Sirens of Time. How that's now getting spliced up between the different Doctors rather than them each getting their own episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, could this be the Fifth Doctor story?
I mean, there's been so many what are contenders for that. A part of me feels like this could be the number one release of 2025, which is a big statement, but I might put money on that.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be far off.
Yeah, I reckon it would at least be in the top 3.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, come back this time next year when we update our top 5s for 2025 to see if it's still in there. I mean, hopefully so, because the one worry is that this is now, well, it's not all our Fifth Doctor we're getting next year.
Yeah.
But, in terms of the relaunch stuff, this is all the Fifth Doctor we're getting. So it's putting all your eggs in one basket, but if it pays off big time.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, which, I mean, I can't see it not paying off, but there is that slight worry of, well, you've done your Fifth Doctor for the year.
Yeah. Unless the mysterious lost story is Fifth Doctor as well. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. But I mean, this one is rather exciting. I think, nice simple title as well, Hook Light. Hooks you in. It seems to be going quite grand and almost fantasy-esque.
Yeah.
This whole quest to get to this Dark Forge. Yeah.
I mean, if it's like Tartarus, it's going to be fun.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, when I look back at the Fifth Doctor adventures so far, like this relaunch wave, my top 3 are all written by Tim Foley. You got Merfolk Murders, Immortal Infinity, and Pursuit of the Nightjar. So, it's looking promising.
Mm.
He seems to be the Fifth Doctor writer, or just the Big Finish writer in general.
Yeah, I think he's the best writer Big Finish have got at the moment. And, this not having the gap like the last day, it's promising.
Huben from Small Collection just pointed that out. No 6 months between this one. But I think 1 month is nice, though.
Yeah, I think that's just right.
These back to back. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe it'll be 30th of 1 month and 1st of the next. But I feel like, it's nice to have a little bit of time there. But this isn't our next Fifth Doctor story, is it?
No, this was a bit of a surprise, this news. Spare Parts Part 2?
Yeah, it's a surprising one, this.
Genesis of the Cybermen.
Because wasn't Spare Parts almost already regarded as a lost story of sorts?
Yeah, I think people have said that.
It's sort of viewed in the same way as Dalek as a adaptation of Jubilee.
Yeah.
It's more of a looser one, but nevertheless, there is that line to be drawn there. Whereas this is very much David K. Barnes going back to the original outline that Jerry Davis had for this Origin of Cybermen, which seems a bit more of a wacky one.
Yeah.
Like, from what I've read, it feels very much almost like a cartoon.
Because I think David Banks did the story in his Cyberman book, I think, or covered it at least.
Apparently David K. Barnes grew up on that as well.
So I imagine there's a lot of affection there. So I think this will probably be a labour of love. And it's going to be interesting to know what take it is, because Return of the Cybermen was very 60s. I wonder if this will be the Fifth Doctor and crew in a very 60s style story.
Will they try to make it a bit more 80s? Because certainly the original submission didn't have the TARDIS crew that this one does. It was instead the Fifth Doctor and just a generic companion filling the void.
A part of me feels like it was Perry, because in one of the Doctor Who magazines, I think the Cyberman essentially had like Perry mentioned in it. I could be mistaken.
I think he made up his own one.
Well, I don't know.
Called a Betty or something.
I mean, that sounds very sort of classic.
Yeah, it was submitted around the time of 19 though, and they went with Earthshock instead. So I mean, will this be more Unbound in nature, in that we've got Adric meeting the Cybermen, well, Tegan, Nyssa, and Adric all meeting the Cybermen before Earthshock, or will they try to make it work in the canon and just have it so that they're
going to do a Death World? Both of these are going to in some weird way.
Because I'm trying to rack my brains with Earthshock to remember if there's anything that explicitly says these characters can't meet the Cybermen before. I'd have to give it a rewatch. I mean, it's exciting stuff though. There is a prize.
Oh yeah, really exciting. Very left field. I mean, I guess with the success of the Lost Stories this year, I guess it was bound to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a novel adaptation news as well.
Oh, fingers crossed.
And that turns out to be like the Sands of Time. Clip that if it's true.
Stylish one, looking at you there.
And we get more Davis in that way.
Sarge says comic strip adaptation of World Shapers to complete the trilogy.
Why not? Get older Jamie and Jamie dies. Spoiler for that comic.
Yeah, I mean, I like the new release schedule going forward these as well. So we got this one, Genesis of Cybermen, coming out in March, and then we got a second Lost Story for Series 9 scheduled for September. No details on that one yet. It's just 2 discs long this time, not another 6-parter. But yeah, I like that you're getting one towards the start of the year, one towards the end of the year, and I wouldn't mind if they kept that pace rather
Yeah.
than releasing them closer together somewhere towards the middle. It allows each of them to be a bit more of an event because
I think that was a good thing with Death World and Operation Werewolf. Each had their own time to breathe.
yeah, because when you look at releases like Series 6, where you had Revenge and the Doomsday Contract. Doomsday Contract was very much overshadowed there. Everyone was interested in the Cyberman story.
And then everyone forgot Series 5. Everyone forgot that one.
When you've got them as two releases, it did sort of seem silly to release them both the same day. It's like you might as well just had them as a box set at that point. But it was a funny time then, because they did the same thing with the early adventures as well, didn't they? That was also the same month as Series 5 of the Lost Stories.
Yeah.
They put Home Guard and Dr. Godskeller, which again, Home Guard got very much overshadowed by Dr. Gods.
I mean, rightfully so.
True. But yeah, nevertheless, here, each one gets to be its own event. I think it also paces out a bit more nicely to hopefully stick with the one towards the start of the year, one towards the end of the year format going forward. Because it does look like the Lost Stories are here to stay for a while now.
Which is nice.
We're getting them, yearly for quite a bit. Yeah. It's got its dedicated producer to the range now in David.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's looking at what else can be adapted.
Yeah, it's all very exciting.
Especially when you got a variety of different ways they adapt them as well.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it is very much authentic to the time, following that original outline to a T. Whereas other times there's a bit less to go off there, but they still make do with what they can.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll go for an alternative take of an already made story. Which, I don't know which way of doing it is my favourite. I think it's nice that it all can get encompassed under the umbrella of the Lost Stories.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people thought the Lost Story had lost their way with just rehashing season 12, which I think maybe if they spaced them out a bit more, like put in your Operation Werewolf, your Death World, and your Genesis of the Cybermen in between, maybe people will be a bit more forgiving.
Yeah. I think some of them as well, like Death World, are fascinating little pieces of history, really, to look back at what Bob Baker and Dave Martin were thinking early on, and then seeing how those ideas changed and shifted by the time you get to the Three Doctors proper. And obviously some of it's from John Dorney's mind as well. I think when you've got people adapting these things, they're always going to bring something of themselves to the adaptation. And they're often bringing something different as well. But nevertheless, you still can see in the broad strokes how, their mind was working and what parts of that got carried over, rearranged in the final product. I mean, someone brought up a good one. Joe Bauer said, I would like one day to get an adaptation of the Vampire Mutations. Now, for those who don't know, that's the original State of Decay that Terrance Dicks submitted way back when they were doing season 15 with Leela. But instead, BBC had a big Dracula adaptation going on. They said, oh no, you're sending us up. Put a stop to that, and so we got Horrifying Rock instead.
I mean, I can see that happening. Wasn't there like Brain and Morbius as well? An early draft of that.
Yeah, I don't know how different it was, but I know Solon was a robot originally. And then Terrance Dicks went on holiday, and Bob Holmes couldn't get hold of him, and so redone it. And it was more like a Pertwee era vibe to it. Yeah. Which you could sort of see as well with the Time Lord sending a Doctor on a mission.
Yeah.
Like that's much more, season 9 territory.
Yes.
Wonderful pitch there.
Yeah, it's really nice. That really nice
I wonder
image.
if that is the Cyberman they're going to use on the cover, the season 10 finale one.
Won't be the first time. But yeah, I think that's all we can say on the news.
Yeah. Stylish one says season 10 they should adapt unmade Big Finish audios. 50-50. Moffat's Heaven Sent with McGann.
That'd be cool.
Sarah Kingdom Unbound audio. But at that point, because it's still Big Finish, are they not just Big Finish stories?
Yeah.
Are they lost stories or are they Big Finish? Well, Big Finish can push it either way.
That's true. And we'll buy it. We'll buy it because,
I suppose it depends if it's going down the Unbound route. I imagine something like 50-50 would, because that was a different direction they were considering taking the arc. Yeah. I mean, Heaven Sent as well, depending on how close that is to TV Heaven Sent, could perhaps be looked at as not canon. I think they should stay clear of Fourth Doctor stuff. Lost stories for a little while, says Super Small Collection. Mate, Seventh Doctor's not had one for a good while.
No, not since series 2.
Yeah, he's only had his season
27,
hasn't he?
Mm.
Do you think they'd be able to do Illegal Alien? Because obviously that got made into a PVA. But
maybe because Night Thoughts technically is a lost story as well, supposedly by I think Edward Young, who wrote that. I think.
Wait, Lungbarrow too.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Here we go.
Did you see the CV leak about the SSS spin-off?
No.
That was a while back. Unless there's been a new one since then. But I remember that rings a bell. He talked about that a while back on a stream now, and then sort of forgot about it.
It's been a while since we streamed it, yeah.
I think that was around the same time as those original Unbound First Doctor leaks were going on. No actor put Big Finish SSS spin-off on their CV. When they are doing a lot more classic Who spin-offs now with Crinoids and Zygons, so
it's very early Big Finish. It's very Cyberman Dalek Empire, isn't it?
Yeah,
which is great.
Returning to that type of more light-led approach. I think Tim Foley's been saying that a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah,
these things feel like they're Big
Finish
early experimental days.
It feels like it's Big Finish going, pun intended, going back to its roots.
Who of you was Small Collection said they could do Illegal Aliens? I was typing it when you said that, Luke. Yeah, great minds think alike.
There we go. Should we get on to the main event of the stream?
Yeah, I mean, we're nearly an hour into it now, so
yeah.
I think it's
top 5 time.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a quick look back at what our previous top 5s were?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, to sort of give context for where we're going with this, rather than making everyone watch the original video. We're not.
I mean, if you want to know us talk about those releases, then watch that video.
Yeah. Benny. I mean, both of our 5, 5th place,
number 5.
Yeah, was Storm of the Sea Devils.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that survives on here. My 4th place was Tube Strike.
My 4th place was Fugitive of the Daleks.
My 3rd place was Born to Die.
My 3rd place was Dark Gallifrey, Morbius.
Yeah, my 2nd place was Children of the Future.
My 2nd place was Battle of Giants Causeway.
And my 1st place was The Dream Team.
My first one was Victory of the Doctor.
There we have it. So I wonder how many of these will remain on the list, Stephen. Will our top spots remain intact? We'll see. I mean, we're starting at number 5. You've got to build up the tension a bit, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. Would you like to drop your 5th place first?
I'm going to let you go first because I went first last time, so I'll be a gentleman. So
there we
it's all yours. It's all yours.
One good turn deserves another.
There we go.
Yeah. My fifth place would be Born to Die. Not Born to Die, sorry. Children of the Future.
All right.
I've
Ruined it. You had one job.
Like, end the stream. Delete it.
Right, let's rewind. What's your number 5, Luke? I'll let you go first.
My fifth place is Battle of Giants. I've done it again!
Oh, no!
Sultanas versus Regents is all very good. So I could have clumped all Skeller into one, but it's not quite one release, and I feel like they are. Yeah. Whereas with Morbius, I think that made sense because it's the one long story.
Yeah.
With Sultanas versus Regents, they are all individual but come together as a whole at the same time. It's a wonderful series. I recommend it all. But Children of the Future is my fifth place. The Third Doctor, Sarah Jane, and Brigadier story of the lot, and it's much more Rutan focused than the rest, which I think is a nice change of pace because Third Doctor and Sarah, they already had their Sontaran action on TV with the Time Warrior, which this serves a bit of a sequel to as well.
Yeah,
but it's something different from what you usually get with the Third Doctor adventures. It's not quite following in that same recreating the 70s to a T mission objective that they seem to have. Instead, it feels always more 90s in a way.
Yeah.
There's a bit more of an edge to it, I suppose. I love the music in it. It creates this wonderful atmosphere as these characters go on a road trip. The Brigadier and Sarah Jane are suspicious of the Doctor. He's not been acting quite right recently, and so they follow him. And yeah, it's almost more like the downtime of these characters when they're not on duty. And yeah, it's very much about the relationship between the Brigadier and the Doctor now, as the Third Doctor is nearing the end of his tenure. He's got his TARDIS working again. How long does the Brig think he's gonna have him around for? This is dealing with that in a way. Dealing with how friendships do sometimes take these turns. And, I think we've all been there with people that we used to spend every day with, be it school or university or whatever. And then, life happens, circumstances change, and suddenly you're not around each other all the time anymore. You're meeting up maybe every once in a while, but, that friendship is still just as strong, but it's not quite in the same way that it was. And so it's wonderful how this story taps into that. It's a Tim Foley one as well, so it's gonna get a lot of praise for that alone. But I do really like this one. It's nice chill nighttime vibes. Well, I've finished talking about it now. You're a bit late there, Ben.
Sorry. I was just trying to put a bit of effort in, but fine. Shoot me down.
What is your fifth place then? What's your number 5?
My number 5. I feel like I'm cheating, but you know what? It's my list. I've gone for. I think this is kind of going for the occasion, the spectacle. I've gone for the Stuff of Legend, the live edition, even though it's not out. I think what the day meant for us meeting for the first time in 9 years, in person, and just experiencing a Big Finish with other Doctor Who fans, a communal effort, and just realizing Big Finish can be funny. And I think
it's funny how our number 5s almost inverse each other there, with a story about friends who are spending a lot of time together suddenly going their separate ways, to a story of us coming together for the first time after knowing each other online for so long to experience Big Finish in person.
I think that it's a very different way of celebrating Big Finish's Doctor Who license. I think that it's great having Alex McQueen back as the Master. That was a real delight. I think it's very much a nice, simple story. It's the Daleks' greatest hit in terms of plot. Wonderful. It's a wonderful story how it just keeps building on Cornish folklore, and that sort of becomes the basis and grounds it. And it's like an onion. It unravels and it keeps building and layer and layer, and it's just a really tightly formed script, I feel.
Yeah, it was such a fun time. I think it was the perfect script for such an occasion. Yeah, and I think, with things like this, you're always going to have that memory attached to the story, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think it's a very special one for that, really. I think it's a story that works better as a live event, and hopefully, when the live recording comes out, it captures a little bit of that magic.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't there, you can say, "Oh, I get the atmosphere there and the communal listening."
Yeah, but it's one of those things that you very much have to be there for it. It's just crazy to think that's coming up to a month ago now already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Would you like to go for your number 4?
My number 4 is the Battle of Giants Causeway.
Back on Sontaras vs. Rootons.
Back on Sontaras. I think that this was a lovely bit for OG Big Finish listeners with the return of Kariz. I think that it's a really nice, simple story, great mystery. It sets the series of Sontarans versus Rootons really well, but it's still very much a standalone story. I think there's great humor within it with the bath bomb and just Roman Sontarans. It's just a lot of fun within it, and I think there's this wonderful atmosphere to it. Really strong opener for the year, I feel.
Hoover's full collection raises an interesting point. Kariz box set when?
I know that would be lovely. Hopefully, because this story did really well, Kariz, and I think that it's lovely having a modern Big Finish writer take on Kariz, because I think back when Kariz was a companion, I don't think they had this really got a grasp of his character. I think there's only 2 stories that properly deal with his character.
I think they saw him as a burden, didn't they?
Yeah.
The writers, they were sort of handed him and thought, well, I don't want to have to deal with this guy. Whereas now it's going to be people writing for him who actually want to write for him.
Yeah, who listened and enjoyed the Divergent stuff and thought, you know what, there's a good character there. And
Very
I think
much like what has happened with classic companions.
Yeah.
Finish when they look at the season 19 crew, they see that potential and then actually get to expand upon it and work with it.
Mm-hmm. So that's my number 4. What's your number 4?
Is Another Sontarans vs. Rootons.
Okay. I think I know what this one is.
It is in name only.
In name only? Wow.
Yeah. It's funny. At the time, it was our least favourite of the bunch. Not by any great means. It was just the one that, there's got to be one that's the weakest. And it just happened to be that one at the time. I was a bit quicker on the trigger this time.
Well, because you're talking about it. So I'm there. I'm ready to get it up.
But yeah, I went back to Sontaras vs. Rootons, re-listened to the whole thing, and this one just worked even more for me on second listen. So much so that it shot up to the top of my list. I mean, that's sort of a spoiler. No more Sontaras vs. Rootons to come on my top 5, but there's plenty of other stuff out there that you can guess about over the coming minutes. But yeah, I think it's brilliant how it ties it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a wonderful way of involving the time warp in this story. How, it very much deals with the fact that time itself is at stake. And yeah, there's a wonderful bit of espionage as well. Some wonderful Suntowering characters throughout it. And I think it does some great action on audio as well. More so, better than most other Time War releases, I think. And Jonathan Carley on top form as ever. I've just, been on a young War Doctor high this year.
Hmm.
And so,
It's had a
back
good
to
year
War,
for the stuff I've listened to.
Going back
Have
to
you
this
listened
one,
to Susan's War yet?
No, still not touched that one yet.
Okay, still a bit left to go for you.
Yeah. Have you gone for it at all?
No.
Yeah, it's the last bit of Jonathan Carley.
I'm Dark Gallifrey, actually.
I've done Dark Gallifrey.
Oh, have you?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say no more about that for now. But yeah, I mean, we have got Unknown Soldiers.
Sorry, I've just seen even with a small collection. Don't listen to Susan's War. Okay.
I don't know, but we've already bought it. I'm still traumatized.
God.
This would be fun. Yeah. In name only, though. It's a good one. Yeah, I really like that one. Now, number 3.
Oh, number 3. Right, number 3. It's me, isn't it?
We sort of, I don't know. You can be you if you want it to be you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead.
We're mixing it up. We're freestyling it. It's chill.
Hey, this is what it is. It's Chill Friday. Let's have a good time. My number 3. I've gone for something I've wanted for a long time. And then there was a website issue. And even if it turned out rubbish, which spoiler, it's not because it's number 3. I'm gonna force myself to like this, and it is Death World.
Hey, there it is.
It's a glorious release, and
Sean Longmore.
I think it's my favorite cover of the year.
He's got to be up there.
That or Morbius and the Mighty. Morbius and the Mighty. In terms of Death World, I think it encapsulates everything Doctor Who. It encapsulates every aspect of iteration of Doctor Who in the form of it has sort of classic Who's sort of gung-ho sort of ambition that it's a little show that could. And then it has sort of the Wilderness Years grit in terms of sort of the violence with like the morgue and the man-eating fungus. That feels very sort of what you would see in like the Wilderness Years. And then we have the new series in the form of its character sensibilities with the Third Doctor and sort of reuniting with Jamie, and that the character beats there. I think that it has this wonderful feeling of all of Doctor Who. The character interactions with our main doctors are fabulous. I think the pairings are brilliant. First Doctor and Brigadier are a wonderful pairing you didn't really think you need, but my goodness, they're great. Within it, I think the first 2 episodes are something really special. It's far from Barry Letts and Terrance Dicks's sort of sensibilities of the show. It's very
you
much
can tell why this one didn't get made in this form.
Yeah, because you're like, how would the 70s do zombies? How would they do, these man-eating funguses? Would it be like the Ogron eater creature where it's just this blob? Yeah, and I think the first 2 episodes utterly spectacular. It could be number 1 at that point, but I think the second half of the story, it does lose its way. But that's classic Doctor Who, and I think the thing with me in Death World is it's a story that sort of takes you back to discovering classic Doctor Who. It has that wonderful magical feel of you sort of navigating classic Doctor Who, and I think it kind of encapsulates that sort of wonder of classic Doctor Who for me personally.
Oh, I think that's a fair enough reason for it to end up here on the list.
Yeah,
I think it definitely does give off that vibe, and like you said, those first 2 episodes are bloody brilliant, particularly episode 2.
Hmm.
I love the atmosphere of that one, the way it's structured with each of the different Doctors having their own strands. Yeah, I mean, Second Doctor and Jamie, the banter they have as well, it's something rather brilliant.
I think that it's the best Michael and Fraser, because I think that was what was missing with Operation Werewolf, the actual pairing.
Yeah, the Doctor is off on his own for a lot of that. Well, not on his own. He's with Nazis.
Not very good company.
No, I think you'd rather be on your own.
Yeah. But yeah, bitchy Second Doctor's great. You know, Jamie's a hindrance. I don't need him.
Mm.
You know, it's great stuff.
Human Small Collection said, Deathworld is on here. We can all sleep sound tonight.
We can.
Stylish One added, he waited so long that I took a clip from 2021's live stream and made an intro to his review.
There we go.
Thank you for that, Stylish
We
One.
appreciate it a lot.
God, I didn't realize that was 2021.
Yeah, I think it was from the live stream of the relaunch when that news dropped.
Wow.
That yeah, I think it's from that.
We were hearing rumblings of this for quite a while because it started on the podcast, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
But there were, and then I think Bob Baker sadly passed away, and I think that put the story in limbo.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he would have originally adapted it.
Yeah, I suppose because he was still writing, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I love Deathworld, and this is number 1 in my top 5 system.
Ah.
A lot of love for Deathworld today.
Which is good. Because it deserves it. It is good.
Yeah. Joe Bauer says, the only thing I didn't like for Deathworld is the first Doctor asking the Brigadier if he is related to Brett Vian, something that I doubt would have happened had the story been made for TV. Oh, yeah, there's a few things like that in Deathworld that are very much more fan-brainy. Some of them, I think it gets away with more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing I think what puts a dampener on it is trying to make the 3 Doctors in this sort of coexist. Because I think that then you're sort of going in territory of, is it a lost story then?
Well, I don't know. I think it still is because you've got like season 23, the original ones, they all work fine as that just takes place in between 22 and the actual 23.
Yeah.
I think it's only when you look at things like Revenge where they're taking the place of
Return,
a TV story. Yeah. Is when it gets a bit more, the question of canon comes up really.
Yeah.
Because, for the most part, I think, the lost stories are all fine as canon stories. But at the same time, I don't mind these little sidesteps of canon, I suppose. It's the road not taken. It's this little fork in the road before it all joins up again afterwards. But with Deathworld, I think the way it goes about it in the end just feels extremely clunky.
Yeah,
I could have done without that. It's one of those things where it's like I'm at the point now as a fan where I don't need it. I don't need everything to fit neatly into this chronology of canon. I just want.
I've kind of stopped caring about that now.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, especially when you look at just how much Big Finish does, you sort of think, is there really time for these characters to go on all these adventures?
Yeah.
Probably not, but we just, we roll with it.
Each story has a case-by-case basis, I feel.
Yeah. I think ultimately, when I'm either listening or watching something, I very much treat it in isolation.
Yeah, same here.
As best as I can, It's only that story in that moment particularly matters, and maybe some other bits floating around it that are directly related to it. But for the most part, I'd rather a story be good than be a slave to chronology. At this point, you could do an April Fool's Lady Christina review. We will take anything. It's a stylish one.
Well, like we said, 50 likes and we'll cover Lady Christina, but we haven't got 50 likes. So if you want Lady
Have you checked
Christina,
that video? What video even was it that we said that on?
well, I know that none of the lives have got 50 likes. So just saying, if you want Lady Christina, get this to 50 likes.
Or
We'll do
what
it.
it was originally.
Yeah.
Correct, Ben. I was rewatching it and had the idea to put together a little intro. Hopefully that makes up a black hole video falling through. Now, where's the Day of the Daleks video?
Look, the Day of the Dalek video. Day of the Daleks is. I've done my bit. It's all on the wonderful Stephen Noonan now, and like you've seen a little bit of it, and you know that it's great.
It's his passion project. It really is.
It's a wonderful project, and yeah, we're excited as much as you guys. There, can we say much about it?
I think we can.
It will be dropping later this year.
Fingers
in
crossed.
the final month. I say it's happening in December.
At the moment it's looking to be split into 2 parts as well.
So it's going to be worth your time. It was a 3-hour long video, and I think it's been cut down to. I don't know what it's been cut down to now.
Bits were cut, bits were added.
Bits were added. There's been little inserts, but trust me, it will be worth it. It'll be the best video that we've done, and we're very proud that we had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, it's still wild thinking back to that. We actually got to sit there with those two. Well, figuratively, we weren't in the room with them. They weren't in the room with each other, but nevertheless, the fact that we got to spend the evening with Nick Briggs and Stephen Noonan was something special in itself.
Yeah.
The video is coming along.
It's happening, and we're just so excited for it, really.
Yeah, thank you to all those of you who are still interested in it and patient with it, because we did.
And thank you, Stephen, for having this brilliant brainwave of going, let's try this, and it works wonderfully.
I never knew you were such a musician, Ben.
Well, I play the accordion and the old mouth organ.
In fairness, I've already watched the Daleks video. Stephen showed me some of it. I can tell why it's taking so long. It's a top of all time Ben moment in there.
I wonder what bit that is. Is it probably about the trike? The amount of times I mentioned the trike is unreal.
Yeah, you're just there vibing on your trike.
I love the trike.
Oh, anyway, we've derailed the top 5 here. Have I? No, I've not.
You've not done number 3, right?
Number 3, Death World.
Right, I'm gonna.
My number 3 now.
I'm getting ready to type it.
Oh, the Dream Team.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you've shocked me there.
Wow, my original, first place is now dropped to 3rd. Not for any fault of its own. I still think it's absolutely brilliant, particularly the Merfolk Murderers. That is still my favorite individual story of the year. But yeah, I think there's 2 releases overall that beat this one out. It's such a wonderful love letter by Tim Foley to the genre of, the murder mysteries of old, Agatha Christie novels. It's got so much brilliant trappings of that in there, the atmosphere of it. The fact that part 1 is mostly just the characters chilling and vibing by the seaside with these other characters getting to know each other before the murder. I think that's all pretty ingenious. And then you've got your investigations going on. The Doctor's reluctant at first, and it's nice seeing that more human side to him here as he is faced with the realities of murder.
It's the people it touches around these
Yeah.
events, isn't it?
Because ultimately, there is something fun about this puzzle box of these murders. I think it's also tapping into the fact that a lot of people now are really into true crime.
Mm.
And in some ways are perhaps getting a bit desensitized from the facts that these are real people whose lives have sadly been either lost or turned upside down, and this story gets in touch with that and acknowledges that while still being a fun murder mystery story. I think it's wonderful how it strikes that balance and so much more beside. Each character gets to go on their own journey throughout this. It's such a wonderful four-parter. And I just love the seaside setting as well. I think it creates some wonderful
St.
vibes
Andrews.
up in St. Andrews. And then alongside it, you have Dream Team, which is this four-hander featuring the Cantrafari, which I think is good fun. It's nothing too special. It's the reason this release isn't higher on my list, but that's not to disparage it too much. I still think it's a pretty fun little two-parter, but nothing special at the same time. What really makes this box set is The Merfolk Murders by Tim Foley. So that is my number 3.
Okay.
Fourth Doctor ranking from last year was the one where we said about Lady Christina, and apparently it's on 41 likes at the moment.
Oh, okay. Okay, gang, you know what to do.
Oh, wow. 9 more likes.
And then we own that banging theme tune.
Oh,
Because it is a really good theme tune.
It's a bop.
It's a certified bop.
Yeah.
Is it the best sort of spin-off theme? Is it better than Jenny? Jenny's got a good theme, to be honest.
I don't know if I've heard I think I have heard the Jenny theme, but I forgot.
Yeah. It's like the Doctor Who theme, but like quite electric guitar.
Yeah, there are quite a few good ones when it comes to the World's Doctor. I mean, War Master. Come on, that's
really good.
That's the best one of all, particularly when you got the middle 8.
The middle 8.
Nothing's
yeah, it's godly when that hits.
I mean, number 2 now. I think I'll go first this time because there's a nice segue here to be had with the World's Doctor Who. It's River Song, Last Words, or The Life and Death of River Song, Last Words, to give it its full title here. The beginning of this new spin-off for Alex Kingston's iconic character. He's typing away there. I'm like,
River.
But this is in the same vein as The Friend of a Family. It's 1 4-hour story, all written by one writer, this time Rob Valentine. And I love the world building that happens throughout this. I think it's wonderful how it all takes place on Earth as it's about to boil, really. It's not long before the solar flares that I mentioned in the Ark in Space. You have this billionaire called Garrison Clay who brings River Song back to life in a clone body so that she can go find someone for him. This character called Balthazar, who is hiding some important secrets of his own that affect the future of humanity. You've got these sprawling cityscapes, countryside. It's globe-trotting. It's got so much going for it. And there's a real sense of doom as you near the end of it, as the solar flares are getting closer. There's this incredible sense of no turning back. It's the end of the line. And for River, bringing her back to life post-library, I think is an idea that certainly didn't sit right for a lot of people at first, understandably. But I think the way this story goes about that and tackles it, has it be for her, at a point in her life where she no longer has the Doctor in it. This is her after her great love. It's such a wonderful exploration of that. You've got another character who's going through something similar to that she teams up with. Yeah, I think this is, it's not quite friend of the family level, but I did really enjoy this. I just love this approach to storytelling, having it be this one long story where you really get to build the world and the characters, give them some proper arcs to go on. Yeah, it's just, honestly, these ones often feel like easier listens than simple 1 hour ones.
Yeah, especially like the 2-parters this year.
Hmm.
Looking at you, Fourth Doctor, Series 13.
Yeah, some of them just don't quite hit the same. Yeah, I think for me, long form storytelling is definitely my preferred way of experiencing these stories, and I'm glad that Big Finish has been pushing that so much more as of late. So, yeah, that is The Life and Death of River Song, which you've not listened to yet, have you?
No, and
You should.
this is I mean, I should because it's number 2 for you, but I forgot this release happened, and then you said, of course, there's a reason why your old nickname's a River Slut. All right, yeah, make sense. Exposed Luke. Yeah, that's a fun bit of trivia.
Yeah.
Luke's old nickname was the River Slut because he's just loved that.
I was the only one who actually bought it at first, and then you got Series 3, and you're like, "Oh, I see what he's on about now."
This is like a 9-year-old nickname. So yeah, Luke's the River Slut. There you go. Heard it here first.
Wow.
There you go. Exposed Luke there.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it also came out at a bit of an awkward time for you because the app was here, there, and everywhere.
Yes.
I think by the time you could actually listen to it, so much other new.
Well, the thing was, Deathworld happened, and I was like, because I think they came out the same day, so I was like, sorry, River. I know where my priority lies.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. You should. This was a close one between this and Dream Team, I will admit, though.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Merfolk Murders beats it out as a story on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my number 2. How about yours?
See, this release, we thought, God, this is going to be a certified, like, this is the big release. This is a release. And then the month this came out, it sort of, I don't want to say got forgotten about because of the lost stories. Goth Opera.
Ah.
Yeah,
there it is.
Really, I mean, this is the original edit. But yeah, this not even opened it. I've got replacement CDs in the other room. But yeah, Goth Opera. This was a big story because it's celebrating 30 years of the Virgin Missing Adventures, and I think that it's such a big piece in Doctor Who fiction as it's the first time where we're exploring past companion TARDIS teams. And I think what this does, it sets a precedent for Doctor Who fiction in general and what Big Finish have built on with other Doctors. This is a wonderful story for this TARDIS team. Not only for Nyssa, who is the main center, the epicenter of this story, but what it does for Tegan and the 5th Doctor, who's just constantly drinking tea. Yeah, it's wild. I think each character has their moment to shine within it. I think that, yeah, it's very character-centered. And the vampire plot, brilliant, sort of bringing back sort of the great vampires. And I'm a sucker for, Doctor Who sort of vampire crossovers. Yeah, and I think the final act, it's what you expect. I think the way the 5th Doctor sort of teases Ruaf to get what he wants. It's a great sort of different side to the Fifth Doctor within it. Yeah, I think it's just
Very much does feel separate from the Fifth Doctor Adventures, doesn't it?
Yeah, even though I think originally it was planned to be part of that range, wasn't it?
And then they thought, well, we got novel adaptations.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a real strong release. Elizabeth Miles just gets it. It's cut out the awkward. There's a chapter in the original book where you have Glitz and Drashigs, and it's just sort of a fan just getting very excited that I can put all these characters in, and it doesn't really add anything to the plot. So that's gone. So you're getting goth opera in its purest form. And I think, yeah, it feels very 90s in the best way possible for it, really. So yeah, goth opera is my number 2.
Yeah.
I think I know you're.
Is very glad to hear that.
There you go.
Yay. Ben looks more shocked than Clara after 11 regenerated, says stylish one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a river effect.
Yeah, she blows everyone away.
Definitely does you little river slut.
This is all because I actually bought the releases. No one else wanted to at the time.
But you were like the little guinea pig. Like, if you like it.
I think we sort of were at that time taking turns. Like,
yeah, I mean, I bought Jenny, and I think we both sort of had our sacrifices. I don't think anybody did Lady Christina. Yeah. And Tales from New Earth,
out there.
Yeah, we just got free from Dog magazine.
It shows how well that one went down originally.
I mean, it is out of print on CD, so I wonder. It must have sold all right.
Or an accident happened.
Yeah, it was just a fire.
Sure,
should we move on to? Should we do an honourable mention? I mean, I'm just going to throw a curveball.
Yeah, I think we might as well.
Okay.
I do wonder if Big Finish has ever had to destroy stock, actually. Just to because surely, with the amount of stuff they have got, because I think, sometimes they'll foist it off to Amazon and stuff, won't they?
Yeah.
I wonder if they ever have had to get rid of stock because they just need the warehouse space and it's not selling. Because they do a lot of sales. But
I think BBC Books sold. Well, I say sold. They gave some EDAs to like an orphanage in like Romania to like heat the building. I think that's why some of the EDA books are quite rare. So it's like low print numbers, and they just took it to like an orphanage in like Romania.
Yeah, because this stuff does happen in business, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's something that wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Well, Louise says, would I be burned on the stake for saying Star Cops was the best new thing I've heard this year?
No, Luke loves Star Cops, so he's fine.
I think that's completely fair.
That's fine.
We've not listened to it, so we can't comment on
it. Luke doesn't want to admit it here. Tell me after.
It certainly wouldn't surprise me to hear that it's good. It is just that thing of we'd rather not find out.
Fall down another rabbit hole.
We're spending even more money that we don't have. So
but I'm glad it went down well for you. Really am.
Speaking of destroyed stock, I heard they had Absent Friends CDs in the warehouse the week it was pulled. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, he did like a special cover, didn't they, with like the gold?
Yeah, it was going to be embossed.
Yeah, I wonder if it would have been the same problem as Once and Future. I mean, I've still got Absent Friends on order.
Yeah, I mean, surely, would they have to have destroyed some of that they had but didn't send out? But I suppose it all sold out, didn't it, before it even was released? So they probably all did.
Yeah, it was taken off the website, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I mean, Once and Future.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because they had to replace that. So. Let me guess, number 1 is Missy. Well, we're doing our honourable mentions first. I think
Okay.
the first one we should do is Born to Die because it's the only Sontaras versus Rooters release that's not cropped up on either of our lists.
Mhm.
I mean, it did make it onto my one last time. It's been pushed off now, but I do think that one is a lot of fun there with the Sixth Doctor and Charlie. And a decent little murder mystery too, of sorts. Maybe not murder mystery, but just there's a murder, and there's a death at least, and there's a mystery
Yeah.
as to why it's happened. But yeah, I think I like the vibes of that one, and having John Coleshaw playing Sontaran is it's an experience to be had.
Yeah, that's quite fun.
What's the honourable mention for you?
I'm gonna go. Oh, I don't know if I should say this one because I feel like that will ruin something for you, and I want you to have your moment with it. I'm gonna say I'm torn between a Fourth Doctor actually, because I think Dominant Species is a better box set, but my heart says Storm of the Sea Devils, so I'm gonna go Storm of the Sea Devils.
I mean, you can have more than one honourable mention.
I'll go Dominant Species as well.
I've still not listened to it.
I think John Dorney did a good 4-parter with the Quarks. Yeah, it's got an interesting pace to it with what it does with the cliffhangers, and it plays with a few similar beats to Genesis of Flix, which is quite nice. But yeah, Storm of the Sea Devils. It's Sea Devils, but in a very sort of Seeds of Doom style story in a way.
Yeah, you see a lot of the similar James Bond influences there for it. Because your main villain is, another very rich man who's not got many morals. You've got a heavy henchman in there too.
Much like Scorby.
Following a lot of those tropes. Got this wonderful isolated setting, the crocodiles as well.
Oh yeah,
in there adds some quite intense moments.
And I think part one's just very distinct, but you can picture it how it would be done in the 70s with like the Sea Devils done in like Indian sort of culture, and they're like the sort of cave paintings of it. Really, I think that's really visually striking. You can see that
you can
being
imagine
done.
that picture on like the parchment almost, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, because it's like by the fisherman folk.
Yeah, that's really, really good. And it's the best Sea Devil story since the Sea Devils.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. So if you were disappointed with Legend of the Sea Devils, get Storm of the Sea Devils.
There you have it. What other ones could be worthy of an honorable mention? I think Dark Gallifrey, The War Master Part 1 in particular.
Yes, yeah.
The David Warner.
David Warner.
That's a wonderful little two-hander there. It's absolutely mental. I don't know quite what the plot is, but I know I'm enjoying
backwards, isn't it? It's backwards and it's great.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're experiencing it backwards too.
Mm-hmm. It's a story that really benefits multiple listens.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of Dark Gallifrey and War Master sort of continues in that same vein as well. But I think that one, it works well enough on its own.
Yeah,
it's a nice enough experience in and of itself. Yeah, despite the fact that it feels completely mad and nonsensical, it nevertheless feels satisfying.
Yeah,
but it's one that you have to feel rather than think about.
Yeah, and especially because we're so fond of David Warner's incarnation of the Doctor. I think this feels like a better send off than Time Lord Immemorial. This is the finale for him.
Yeah, deservedly so. Louis said, I did not get on with War Master 1. Maybe my brain cells just weren't working hard enough. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't understand it either.
It's just one way. You're just like you're either vibing or you're not vibing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that some people
Yeah,
were not fans of that one. But
yeah,
for whatever reason, it worked for me.
yeah. I mean, I get it because like some audios you're kind of wrestling with to listen to it, and if you're
Yeah.
sort of mentally struggling with it, then you're naturally not going to have a good time with it, which is a shame. Because I don't think that's the story's intention.
No. Yeah, I mean, I certainly found it to be easy listen in the sense that I wasn't drifting during it. I was there paying attention, even though I didn't quite fully follow some of it. Yeah, I think there's some wonderful jokes. I love the way that they're structured and that you get the punchline first and then you get the joke itself later.
Yeah.
Yeah, moments like that, which really did tickle me. War Master 1 having an unintentional Cyberman origin. Ooh, would that be only the good or War Master 1 Dark Gallifrey? There, Hoovian, because I know only the good has
Only good,
that,
yeah.
but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if War Master 1 Dark Gallifrey had it as well, somewhere nestled in there. Because there's
so much in that story.
Throwaway moments that.
You were the ant looking at reading a book. You're only going to see a little bit at a time.
Yeah, I think that's just ultimately where it clicked for me in that sense.
Yeah.
Oh, we are talking Dark Gallifrey. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I missed that bit.
Know what we're doing tonight?
Yep. Sleeping. I'm tired. Yeah, I heard one and thought only the good. Oh no, sorry. Oh, sorry, Hoovian. I've completely misread your first message. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is only the good that, yeah.
There we are.
Okay.
There we go.
World. But who knows? Maybe Dark Gallifrey.
Maybe there is. That's it.
Yeah, you might be on something there, Hoovian. Yeah, I mean, any more honourable mentions? Does anything else stand out and tingle your molecules?
I think anything missing from our previous list that aren't on the list.
Yeah, that's the obvious shout, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tube Strike, could quite enjoy.
Fugitive for the Daleks, for some nice chase love. I think Dark Gallifrey Morbius. I think that's a great story that sort of transcends Doctor Who audio. But it's the Doctor Who audio, but it isn't in its feel.
Operation Werewolf. That's one from me. That was one I was debating putting around, 5th place on this one, actually. Because it is very authentic to the era, almost to a fault.
I feel like Revolution in Space is more that for me. But you're the Troughton guy, so.
Yeah,
Luke actually likes a Troughton story this year. Amazing.
Yeah. It's what I've been wanting from the Second Doctor adventure. So now that I've been given it, I've got to
support it
and make sure I got all I can out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's got the odd line that wouldn't have been done at the time. But I feel like the way it's written very much feels faithful to what they could do on the budget of a 1960s Doctor Who. Or if anything, it feels a bit conservative with the budget. Yeah, it feels like they're holding stuff back and that they could have got a few more action sequences there. I mean, there's one moment where you've got a similar bit in The Invasion where they're about to rescue the professor from Vaughn, and it just cuts to the scientists talking about how there are at least 20 of them and rescuing him. There's sort of a moment like that in this audio, which you think you could have just got away with that on audio, but instead you committed to the bit and recreated how it perhaps would have been done if they were running out of time and didn't quite get the chance to film an action scene while on location. Yeah, but I love the vibes. I love the atmosphere of part one. Yeah, it's a solid honourable mention from me.
All right, should we go on to number 1 then?
Well, there's a funny little interaction in the chat first. I just want
Oh,
to say,
go on.
Hoovian, where would Missy be on your list? And Hoovian said in the bin.
I mean, it did have the writer of The Dark Husband, so we know that it wasn't like a deliberately bad story, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Anyway, number 1 now.
Glad we didn't go for Missy then. Even though
Yeah.
great cover, love the cover for it.
Yeah, definitely one of the top covers of the year. That's Simon Hullop, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, always doing some wonderful stuff there. But yeah, number 1. Who's going to go first?
I don't mind.
Who went first for the first one?
You
I
did.
did. Do
Yeah.
you want to go first for this one then?
Okay, I'll go first.
I say first one, I meant fifth one, but it's the first one we did.
Yeah. I got your drift, River Slut. My number 1.
Yeah, that's demonetized if you keep going on.
It's fine.
Too late.
That's just that's
you're up.
profanity. We're not doing that one again. So my number 1, like I say, this needs no introduction. Victory of the Doctor. I think that it's a testament to Big Finish to create such a riveting series with 11th Doctor and Valerie. It's Big Finish's take on the 11th Doctor, and this is a combination of 3 box sets and an arc all coming together, and it's putting all the little loose threads from Series 7 and the Matt Smith era. With the Paradigm Daleks, this is the Paradigm Daleks at their height. It's playing with what if the Paradigm Daleks had their own Dalek Mania, and it's a wonderfully beautiful, tragic ride that we have these characters in sort of a no hope situation, and it sort of plays with, of course, if the Daleks don't remember the Doctor, who are the Daleks scared of, and it's great that whatever the Doctor throws at these Daleks, it doesn't work. The blight, the cliffhangers within it. There are moments where you are just gasped, just going, "What Big Finish are actually going to do this?" It's dark, it's fun, it's just everything you want. Alfie Shaw, my goodness, he knows how to craft a series, and this is Moffat Who, but Big Finish's take on it, and I just love it. It's a great set. Buy the 11th Doctor Chronicles.
Yeah, it really does feel like it taps into that missing potential from the 11th Doctor's TV run and fits in perfectly with what it was doing while still telling its own self-contained arc. Well, 14 stories in the end for an episode.
Yeah.
I think all culminating there rather wonderfully. And yet Valerie is just such a well-rounded character that it's a shame to see it end, but at the same time I think its worth is
it didn't outstay its welcome
greater.
I think
because
you enjoy it because it's so limited.
It's something that some other rangers could probably learn from.
And I think I'm kind of waiting for the next 11th Doctor series now. I like to be invested in something like that, so I'm excited for the 5th Doctor.
I mean, did you see hear more accurately on the podcast that they have got an actor for the 12th Doctor now? So hopefully they'll do something similar there.
I think that'd be great.
And has Alfie Shaw moved on from the Doctor Chronicles in general, or
I don't know.
Just the 11th Doctor?
But I think whatever Big Finish do for the 11th Doctor, it's got big shoes, big boots to fill. Because I think it's the best series Big Finish have done in such a long time. It might be my favourite series.
Yeah, it's wonderfully structured. To really feel like a proper series. You've got your first box set where you're introduced to your new companion. They're getting to know the Doctor. And then as you get into the second one, it's pushing the boundaries a bit
It's
more on the cyber
experimental.
stories. Yeah.
I think that's what Big Finish haven't really played around with. It's sort of going back again to Big Finish's roots with we can do anything we want now. Let's experiment with the format.
Yeah. And then you've got a bonus little download only release there to follow on from some of the emotional fallout of the second box set. Before finally with the third box set, it's starting to push the arc again a lot more. You're back in there.
A brilliant Sideman story.
Yeah, surprising developments, lots of twists, and a really strong Sideman story. And then finally, it's what it's all been built towards in the final box set, which was 4 discs rather than the usual 3. Maybe an extra episode. Yeah, it is something special, I think, this series overall.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how it all works in tandem. Because I don't know how likely I am to go back and re-listen to the odd episode.
Yeah,
but I would very much like to go from the beginning.
A part of me's scared to go back to the beginning, in case it's not as good as my memory. The memory cheats.
Yeah, so it's not. But I was quite fortunate that I held off on this so that when I started it, I could binge through the first 2 box sets together and get that proper experience of a series in a way, rather than having to wait a couple of months. Obviously, I don't have to wait for Volume 3, but yeah, nevertheless, I did really enjoy that experience of getting into the Doctor and Valerie and then seeing where they went.
And Valerie is the best 11th Doctor companion.
Easily. I say that someone who quite likes Amy.
I mean, who doesn't like Amy? Love Amy.
The Sarge one says, "You've said worse, Luke. I could make a compilation of all the swear words on these streams, but YouTube would destroy that video."
Luke's got a potty mouth.
Oh dear. Well, you're the one who's been using the foul language tonight.
Okay, fair enough. Frisky Friday.
But he's feeling a bit risky tonight, is Ben.
Should we go on to your number 1?
Yeah, I think we might as well. I mean, if you've watched a recent review we've done, you probably already guessed this, but my number 1 release of 2024 so far, there is still time for this to be topped. We have 3 months worth of releases to go. We have Morbius the Mighty. You knew.
I
knew
knew.
That ready.
Yeah, I had it loaded for about half an hour.
Yeah. I mean, I started my top 5 with a Tim Foley. I had a Tim Foley sandwiched in the middle there. And I'm ending it with a Tim Foley. This is a 3-hour-long epic of incredible proportions here, featuring Jonathan Carley, who, as I mentioned earlier as well, young War Doctor High, can do no wrong at the moment.
I think this is his best performance, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's not done a bad performance.
Oh, no, definitely not. But here he's excelled himself, really. Perhaps it's acting opposite Samuel West. He gives a magnificent villainous performance here as well. Yeah, it truly is this grand story that feels like a movie on audio, really. You've got lots of different characters going on their own journeys, their own arcs throughout this. And I think the Doctor is pushed to his limits here. There's a epic final showdown. I don't think many audios come close to how well a climax this story achieves. Yeah, I adore it. I really did enjoy listening to this one, and was on the edge of my seat throughout those final 20, 30 minutes or so. Some brilliant action before that, even. And yeah, it just feels like there's a lot of depth of these characters as they, tear through space looking for revenge or something more. Yeah, it's a special release, I think, is the way I have described it a lot, and will continue to do so because it's what it is. Tim Foley has outdone himself with this one, and the hype was very much worthwhile. It delivered.
I mean, part one's cliffhanger, you're really going, how are they going to get out of it? It's wonderful. It's like you say, could be the best Morbius story out there. If you were disappointed with Dark Gallifrey, Morbius, but Morbius doesn't really have much to do, this makes up for it. I think Dark Gallifrey, Morbius, Foundations, this is where. Bam.
Yeah, it very much builds on that momentum that they had going for them in Morbius, Dark Gallifrey. Yeah, you got some more Night Sisters here as well, or at least one of them as the Doctor's nurse, because he's in recovery during this. He's out of action at first and is called back to action when Morbius returns. He's got temporal toxemia, which is rather nasty. Yeah. So he's forced to stay on one planet in one time because if he goes into the vortex, his blood starts to boil. And yeah, it's the Doctor pushed to its limits. This is truly now the Doctor of the Time War. Yeah, I think I loved getting to hear that because they have sort of held back a little bit at times, haven't they, with the War Doctor? Whereas here with the War Doctor Rises, I think the shackles are off.
He needs to do what needs to be done.
Yeah. I mean, it's long form storytelling, and I think that works for the Time War as well.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because with something that grand, I don't think 1 hour stories really do it for the most part.
Well, I think
works, but
the best in this range has been the long form storytelling, like Warbringer, He Who Fights Monsters, this release. I think those are where you need to look if you want to get into the Young War Doctor stuff. Those are the box sets you should go for.
Yeah, I mean, roll on Unknown Soldiers as well, and whatever else this range has to offer, because I very much hope that it's not just two and done, and I very much doubt that as well. This might be my least favourite War Doctor set. I'm happy you like it though, Luke. Thank you, Huvian. Saying that it didn't quite work out for you. Valerie would beat Amy in a fight with both arms attached as Huvie a small collection.
Wow.
There we go. Yeah, so should we run through our top fives again? All in one.
Yeah, we can do.
Quick, convenient place.
Yeah.
I mean, my top five was Children of Future at number 5. At number 4, I had In Name Only, Another Sultanas vs. the Rootons. In third place, I had the Fifth Doctor Ventures, The Dream Team. Second place, it was River Song, Last Words. And then finally, top spot, Morbius the Mighty from The War Doctor Rises. Take it away, Ben.
My number 5 was Stuff of Legends, the live edition. Number 4 was The Battle of Giants Causeway. Number 3, Death World. Number 2, Goth Opera. And number 1, Victory of the Doctor.
I mean, share in the chat what your top 5s are. Or if you're watching the replay, pop into the comments and let us know as well. Be interested to see what crossover there is, what similarities, what differences we have, because there's no crossover for me and Ben, despite the fact that we're generally of the same opinion on a lot of these releases.
Yeah.
The intensity of those opinions is different, I suppose.
I think the only real story we've disagreed with this year is your number 5.
Yeah. the Children of the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one threw you a bit of a left field, didn't it?
Yeah, with the weird motorbike, which you've now heard, and you're like, yeah, it is. It's not me. Yeah. In terms of most anticipated release for the rest of the year,
Yeah.
I feel like we might
that's
be
it.
the same with this one.
Hmm.
Well, I don't
I
know
know.
actually, because you're really hyped for War Doctor, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna. I mean, have you listened to part 1 of the Quintessence yet? Which I imagine.
No, I've not. I've been busy with our throwback review for it.
Yeah, I did segue a bit and do part 1. But it wasn't bad.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I said it depends where the rest of the story goes. It's one of those part 1s that hasn't entirely grabbed me yet, but it's not put me off either.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I do think War Doctor Unknown Soldiers is looking pretty exciting at the moment. Yeah. All right. What else have we got coming up? Because there's not really any release I'm dreading as such. You say dreading as if it's something you're forced to listen to / pick up. If you're dreading something, just don't buy it.
Yeah. I mean, War Master can go either way, I feel.
We've been in that boat so many times, haven't we, of getting our hopes up and then.
Which is a shame because, like, a couple of years ago, like, one of the best spin offs. And now it's kind of so.
Yeah. But I feel like there's potential with this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love the premise of it.
Yeah. I just hope at least a couple of these stories deliver. We have got one by Tim Foley, so that's one to be excited for. Yeah, I'm curious to see how different it will feel.
Yeah.
As we're going for more spooky stories specifically. I mean, the War Master stuff, it always leans towards darker storytelling.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, Curse of Time.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. Cause it's a very different way of celebrating 50 years of a Doctor, isn't it? It's quite understated.
Yeah, it's sort of going back to season 12 specifically and celebrating that rather than the whole of the Fourth Doctor's era. It's more about looking at something that Big Finish has
not really
rather
touched
lightly on. Yeah, it's only done it so far through non-canon stuff, I suppose, with Revenge / Return. Then you got Genesis of Terror and the Ark.
And even the books haven't really touched season 12, that TARDIS team. Like there's something quite sacred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see how that one plays into it.
And I think we're
trying to tie together an arc there, like
what we don't even know exists.
Yeah, an arc in not the arc in space sense.
Yeah,
an arc in the storytelling sense.
I think with what Jonathan Morris has done this year,
he's on his first, second, and third Doctor.
Like they've been so traditional and love letters to that Doctor. I'm sure Curse of Time will follow the same.
Yeah, I think season 12 as well is a rather unique feel for the show.
Yeah.
There's never been another season quite like it. It's a show in transition as it moves away from the Pertwee unit and such, but it's not quite recognizable as what you see the Fourth Doctor era as a whole as, or even the Hinchcliffe era itself. It's not quite got all that gothic horror trappings yet. It's a series that was commissioned by Barry Letts and Terrance Dicks for the most part, but they're not the ones who saw it through to the end. And so you're getting a bit of both here. You got the Letts and Dick sensibilities in what stories were commissioned, but then you're also getting Hinchcliffe and Holmes starting to put their own print on the story. Yeah. Actually, am I right with that, or was Robert Holmes the one commissioning all of these? Because certainly Barry was there as well. No, I think Terence definitely had a part in some of them.
Yeah, I think they did like a was it like a little rule and they made it up. Or was
Oh,
that
yeah,
like
when
the,
it came to Robot.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was there in the early stages of Genesis as well, because he was the one who has that story of, well, Terry, you've sold this story to us 3 times already.
Yeah, so I imagine it would be those lot commissioning it.
Yeah. Yeah, nevertheless, Curse of Time intrigues me.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous cover art by Sean Long.
Yeah, really good cover.
Yeah. I mean, the Benny stuff with Eternity Club.
Rhubarb.
See where that goes. Yeah. There's not a particular story that excites me the most of what's to come. It's more just seeing where the overall arc goes and getting to spend more time with these characters.
Hmm.
Are you looking forward to the Sirens of Time Redux?
I'm intrigued by it. I think it's a curio. I pre-ordered it, so I'm definitely invested in it in some capacity. I don't know whether to listen to the Sirens of Time before, so I can get like a proper
appreciation of the differences.
Yeah, to see what this new revisit is.
I suppose, yeah, that might be more worthwhile, because I feel like if you go back to the original afterwards, it might throw you off a bit, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's harder to get through.
Yeah. So yeah, probably get onto that soonish. Are you picking that one up at all?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've only got the option of download at this point, because that's another one that's sold out.
Yeah, I saw that pretty quickly.
Yeah, certainly the platinum one that went like pretty much instantly. Yeah. Joe Bowers says, "I wonder when we'll get the announcement of next February's Third Doctor Adventures." Yeah, it's co-written by Richard James, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that we were meant to get that news this week, so maybe Monday we can get Third Doctor news. Hoping.
Yeah. And Hoover Small Collection raised an interesting point, though, perhaps after the Third Doctor and Older Joe release. Yeah,
I can see that, because Big Finish like to do, and the Third Doctor will return in.
Yeah.
Insert a release here.
And that's all what they've done with the Fifth Doctor. They let Great Beyond come out, by giving it a chance to sell, and came along with that. Yeah, because if you announce it too early, you're just going to undercut the momentum that the Quintessence has going for it.
That's the thing, we don't
already looking to the next story when they've not even got the first one yet.
But that's Big Finish. We're always looking for the next thing. We don't have any release dates, do we? I guess we'll get a hint of what's coming next week from the podcast.
Yeah, that's usually the way. Yeah, that was how we knew about Eighth Doctor and Lucy Miller this week.
Yeah. What about Coda?
I'm not sure if the trailer did much for me there.
I like the trailer, but I think Once and Future's been such a ride.
Yeah. I was sort of thinking back on it the other day and just going down a rabbit hole of everything I felt was wrong with it. It's just, you don't want to spend the time dissecting that too much. It was what it was, and sadly didn't work for us overall. I don't see the Coda changing that at all.
No, I can't see it rectifying any issues.
Yeah, it more seems to be just a story that follows on from the end of it rather than something that turns the whole thing on its head. I mean, I could be wrong. That may be the hidden secret of it. It's trying to look like something inconspicuous, only to then throw that curveball at us. But yeah, I mean, I still think the cover's brilliant, and the concept there of having the two forgotten incarnations of
The Rogue Doctors.
Yeah, going up against each other. That is rather exciting. And yeah, getting to hear Joe Martin for the first time, getting that taste of where things will go in their own series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Certainly can't complain about that. Oh yeah, it's also got Vienna in it. As Whovian and Stein sort of pointed out. I think
Still
she's
need to
with War Doctor, isn't she? And then Benny's with Fugitive.
Yeah, Fugitive, yeah. Still need to finish Planet Doom.
Is Vienna technically dead? Like, because
From Last Day?
Yeah, because it didn't undo it, did it?
Don't think so.
No. Last Day.
I tend not to think about The Last Day, and because I don't think of The Last Day, my life's very happy. But now I'm thinking of The Last Day, I feel very sad.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Makes you want to be your last day.
Oh dear, oh dear. Joe Bowers has posted his top 5.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Number 5, Operation Werewolf. Number 4, Fugitive of the Daleks. Number 3, In Name Only.
Yay.
Number 2, Goth Opera. And number 1, Victor of the Doctor. Pretty similar to, pretty much crossover with both our lists there. Yeah.
With a bit of Fugitive of the Daleks thrown in for good measure.
I mean, yeah, that is a good release.
I'll rate that, Joe. Good left.
I do rate that. But one we can't argue with. This is the best top 5. Quinn Dilemma, Quinn Dilemma, Quinn Dilemma, Quinn Dilemma.
And Quinn Dilemma.
Even more of me.
Those first 2 episodes really got you, didn't they, Sarge one?
Yeah. And that's like, yeah, it's not the weakest part. It might be, yeah, it might be. The finale's pretty weak, but you'll get to the good stuff eventually.
Yeah, I think it's funny. That's a mostly good release. I think that has more good stuff going for it than Trials does. It's just sandwiched in the middle of these 2 episodes where the main arc is, and
the main story is.
Yeah, it's a funny one. Whereas Trials starts off really strong and then just progressively
it fizzles.
Show more and more. It just doesn't quite work. I mean, we've got a whole video analysing that further with spoilers coming out soon, so keep your eye out for that one. But yeah, I mean, is it time to say our goodbyes now? We've done our.
I think it is. We've done our surprise stream.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon.
Yeah, I think we'll do another one before Christmas. We'll find some excuse to get back on a live stream and chat with you all. But yeah, I mean, thank you all so much for joining us.
Yeah, and season 25 as well. Maybe that could be the next stream, season 25.
Oh yeah, that's out later this month.
That'd be a good little one. Yeah, I think it's been pushed back a week, isn't it, to the 28th? So it's
yeah, right at the end. So yeah, come November, maybe season 25 will be streaming at you. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. Again, please like, subscribe, and if you are rewatching this later on, comment down below your top 5. We'd love to hear it. And see you all next time, be that video, live stream, whatever the case. We hope to see you there. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Bye-bye.